His final injection could halt the plague, but every needle leeches the kingdom's vitality. Jinwoo watches his Korean medicine clinic crumble under crushing COVID debts. Desperate, he plunges into the Han River, choking on cold water. Rescue soldiers haul him ashore, bloodied and bruised, clinging to a sliver of life. The royal physician storms in, cradling the ominous tray of needles. Jinwoo awakens in a cold stone cell, low ceiling, candles trembling. A voice declares itself the palace doctor, his appointed healer in this realm. He learns he now occupies the crown prince, a bedridden figure cursed to die early. Panic spikes as the truth settles. The coming lesson will expose the kingdom's bizarre health system. Jin the stone corridors, hears armor clank, and mutters. Feels like a medieval film set. The ancient backdrop reminds him he now lives inside the Demon Sword Emperor novel, not his own world.
It's like I'm on a filming set for the Middle Ages.
The physician explains the HP gain system that could rewrite his fate. A voice from the doorway booms, "Your Highness!" to the stunned Jinwoo, cementing his forced role as crown prince. The title shackles him to a tragic arc that ends early, compelling him to battle destiny.
Your Highness!
The crown prince's doomed destiny still hangs over the kingdom. Jinwoo gapes at the tray of glittering objects. A palace attendant darts in, bows low, and shouts, "Your Highness!" He seizes Jinwoo's arm, eager to obey the crown prince's command. The sudden entrance spikes tension.
Your Highness!
The attendant's urgency hints at an imminent order. Jinwoo stares at a portrait, his body but a foreign face. He gasps, "This is me? But this isn't my face." The mismatch signals a corrupted identity within the novel.
This is me, but this isn't my face.
He fears the story may already be rewriting him. A nearby scholar mutters a string of names, R.A., Keel, Adria, Magenta, while mentioning the Demon Sword Emperor novel he read before drinking. The needle pierces Jinwoo's lung meridian. A faint blue glow spreads along his ribs. He winces as pain spikes, then feels his HP bar rise. The candles flicker, reflecting the surge. The HP boost hints at a new skill unlocking soon. Jinwoo awakens in a dim chamber, still feeling the needle sting. A servant rushes in, bowing, shouting, "Your Highness!" Jinwoo blinks, asking what just happened. He learns he's been placed into the crown prince's body. This forces him to confront his new reality. The physician readies the next needle. Jinwoo feels a sudden surge as his HP bar ticks upward. He watches the blue glow spreading across his ribs. The narrator explains that the crown prince endures endless medical treatments and countless cleric blessings, yet none cure his chronic ailments. He still dies in the story's first half, unable to overcome his sickness. This confirms Jinwoo's fate mirrors the doomed prince. The physician appears, holding a tray of needles. The physician steps forward, bows and says, "Yes, Your Highness, I have a task. Fetch me the needles." He points to a stack of sharp tools on a nearby table. Jinwoo nods, realizing the needles are his only chance to harvest HP. He moves toward the tray. Jinwoo reaches for the needles, preparing a risky procedure. Jinwoo steps into the hall, scans the crowded. The scene feels like a club with people clustered around. A servant approaches, bows, and calls him Your Highness. This shows his new royal role and that others already treat him as heir.
Cursed, this is basically like a club.
Your Highness!
The servants bow hints at a looming ceremony. A figure steps forward, eyes the needle tray, and asks Jinwoo what he intends to do with the needle. Jinwoo hesitates, answering vaguely, "Well," this reveals his uncertainty about the risky self-treatment.
What do you intend to do with that needle?
Well,
Jinwoo gasps, clutching his chest, feeling the pain of his illness. He tells the servant he must secure his breathing first. The servant watches, confused but obedient, as Jinwoo prepares his lungs for the upcoming treatment.
I need to breathe properly before I do anything else.
He points to the meridian that will open his lungs. Jinwoo studies the diagram of the 12 meridians, tracing the line that leads to the lungs. He declares the starting point is the lung meridian, the channel most linked to his breathing. The servant nods, ready to follow his guidance.
The starting point for lungs is the lung meridian. Lung meridian.
Jinwoo lifts the needle to his left arm, pierces the tie-in point, and forces his lungs to pump health into his blood, turning his breath into a lifeline as the onlookers hold their breath. Jinwoo feels a sharp sting, losing precious comfort, yet gaining a single HP point, tasting the bitter triumph of survival against his illness's relentless grip. The physician shouts to stop the needle. The blade retreats, and Jinwoo exhales relief. Yet the looming threat of his failing lungs and the next required harvest hang ominously, leaving his future uncertain. We're building the ultimate Manhwa guild right here. Hit subscribe on Manhwa with Hari and join the ranks. The Crown Prince's life force dwindles, the miracle cure evaporates, and the Empire feels the wound. Adam's gaunt face stares empty, hollow eyes burning with fear. He grips his chest, shallow breaths rattling like a dying drum. He whispers curses at destiny, questioning every choice. A wave of despair ripples through the courtiers, foretelling a possible collapse of the Magenta line. The throne sits exposed, no noble steps forward. Sir Garden bursts through the doors, fire in his eyes, determined to rewrite the prince's fate. Sir Garden storms the chamber, dropping to a reverent bow. He roars a rallying cry, demanding Adam steady his mind. The prince collapses, cradling his skull, voice trembling with panic. Sir Garden leans over the prince, voice bright. "Your lungs are doing a tap dance," he exclaims, pointing at the monitor where the lung meter flickers wildly. Adam jerks upright, eyes blazing. "What?" he yells, demanding clarity. The attendants exchange nervous glances, baffled by how a massage chair could spark such rhythm. Sir Garden gestures confidently, assuring them the tap dance pattern signals the detox is alive. He orders the prince to remain still while the formula siphons the poison.
Your lungs are doing a tap dance.
What?
Sir Garden now aims to synchronize the next skill unlock. Sir Garden counts aloud, rhythm steady. The monitor expands, unveiling a vertical list of 10 unlockable treatments. Each entry glows faintly. Pulse reading, acupuncture, cupping, moxibustion, preparing herbal tonic, herb identification, herb hunting, brewing medicinal liquor, requesting treatment fees, Azrahan core technique. Sir Garden points to the first item, pulse reading, noting it set the day deadline. He then emphasizes acupuncture as the next crucial skill. The prince studies the list, realizing each unlocked ability adds HP and propels the detox forward. This order dictates how swiftly poison clears, and time dwindles before the toxin overwhelms him.
Here are the unlockable treatments.
Sir Garden now prepares to run the diagnosis step. Sir Garden activates the diagnosis module. Sir Garden presses the start button on the Royal Diagnostic Console. A holographic health bar materializes above the prince's chest. The lung icon blinks green, awarding 15 HP. The large intestine icon ignites next, granting 12 additional HP. Tiny arrows animate, illustrating toxins being flushed from the digestive tract. Sir Garden watches the numbers climb, confirming the detox pump's efficacy. Adam's remaining lifespan stretches a few more days, granting the kingdom precious time before the day deadline seals. The monitor flashes a fresh prompt, hinting at the next treatment phase. Sir Garden now prepares the herbal tonic that will finish the cure. The console glitches with a garbled string before clearing to a bright alert. A tiny HP boost flashes, +% life. The prince glances at the number, scoffs, and declares the increase insufficient. Death still looms. He demands a more effective approach, refusing to settle for minimal gains. This urgency drives the team to chase a decisive cure before the countdown ends.
+% life gain.
Not enough, I'll still die soon. Need stronger method.
Sir Garden now seeks the fastest, surefire remedy. The system proposes the quickest, most certain method, suggesting a specific course that could bypass the weak acupuncture results. This plan offers a real chance to extend the prince's life if executed swiftly. Urgency spikes as the clock ticks down. Sir Garden Prabhat steps forward, expression stern. He tells Adam, "But your highness, stop nagging and bring it to me. You have 5 minutes." Adam retorts, "You must not. How could you ask me to?" The prince's voice trembles with frustration, showing he is being pressured to act quickly. Prabhat's deadline adds a ticking clock to the already limited day prognosis. This matters because the 5-minute window forces a rushed decision that could determine whether the prince lives long enough for the detox process.
You must not. How could you ask me to?
But, Your Highness, stop nagging and bring it to me. You have 5 minutes.
The royal alchemists receive the wolfsbane root and commence the detox procedure. They grind the root, blend it with herbal tonics, and apply acupuncture points to channel the poison away from the prince's bloodline. As the mixture steams, the prince's vitals flicker. His pulse steadies slightly, marking the first sign of recovery. Yet the process remains delicate. A single mistake could unleash the toxin and end his life instantly. This matters because the detox's success decides whether the prince gains any more days at all. The next step is the final purification, and the kingdom watches the outcome. Sir Garden lifts the powdered wolfsbane from the alchemy table, his hands trembling with resolve.
Sir Garden flips a switch on the console. A brilliant aura erupts around his hand, pulsing like a sword swing in a game. The aura spreads across the monitor, converting static readouts into radiant symbols. Prince Adam watches, eyes widening in awe. The visual cue announces a new skill activation. Sir Garden declares the aura marks the first sign of the acupuncture skill unlocking. Adam feels a faint warmth bloom in his chest as the aura kisses his skin. This matters because the aura signals the treatment's shift from diagnosis to active healing, a step that could earn him more days. Sir Garden notes the aura steadies the prince's chi. The kingdom watches the monitor, hoping the light heralds recovery.
Aura forms like a weapon, ready to strike poison.
The next scene reveals the full skill tree.
Sir Garden grinds the poisonous wolfsbane root into a fine powder, then bites a shard, swallowing it to prove the detoxified cure works, while a pulse scanner flickers ominously over the prince's veins, each pulse echoing his fragile heartbeat. Adam feels his hope surge as the prince's blood steadies, yet the lingering fear of a hidden toxin gnaws deeply at his confidence, threatening the fragile trust between healer and crown. The alchemist's steaming cauldron belches a violet haze, and the royal seal glows, leaving everyone to wonder whether the detoxification truly neutralizes death, or merely masks a deeper poison waiting to erupt.
YouTube might never recommend this channel to you again. Don't risk it. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari right now. The crown prince tilts his head and forces the foul brew down his throat. The liquid sears his tongue, yet he gulps it down with grim resolve. Sir Garden, lingering close, inhales the vapors and mutters that the scent is off. The prince's eyes narrow, a cold calculation flashing. His blood may hold the antidote. Should the toxin claim him, the realm loses its sole chance at a miracle cure.
Your Highness, it smells really strange.
The prince narrows his gaze, asking, "Come to think of it, how do you know about this medicine?" Sir Garden flinches, blurting, "Oops." The slip betrays his concealment of the brew's existence, hinting at a secret source. Suspicion flares. Sir Garden may be tied to hidden factions. This revelation could pivot court loyalties. The prince steels himself to reveal Sir Garden's covert connections.
Come to think of it, how do you know?
The narration labels the surge as Azrahan Core Energy. It reveals that this power was forged by a legendary Grandmaster Knight, Javier Azrahan. Javier crafted the technique while mastering both alchemical and martial disciplines. Ancient scrolls bear his name as the creator of the core. Knowing its origin ties the power to a historic figure, underscoring its rarity and peril. The text notes that Javier served a noble named Lloyd Frontera. It explains the Azrahan core was bequeathed solely to direct descendants of the Magentano imperial line. This potent skill is reserved for that bloodline, clarifying why only the crown prince can now wield it. The imperial connection amplifies the stakes of any misuse. The slippery sensation dissolves as a warm wave floods Li Jun's entire body. He inhales deeply, sensing every cell awaken. His heart beats steady, his mind clears, and the mana surge stabilizes, delivering a torrent of vitality. He smiles, realizing the potion exceeded expectations, and notes the newfound stamina will bolster his upcoming reforms. Li Jun gulps the ephedra aconite acerem decoction. A sudden rush surges through him. He exclaims, "Wow! This is awesome!" His chest ignites. His heart feels on the brink of explosion. Power spikes through his veins. He realizes the potion awakens the legendary Azrahan core energy within him. The surge grants unprecedented strength, yet threatens his fragile body. The warning about his heart's limits looms ominously. Li Jun recalls his mounting debts as the mana swirls. He mentally recites numbers, recalling how his estate was downgraded to cover interest. The financial nightmare fuels his urgency to master the new technique swiftly. If he fails, past debts could resurface, jeopardizing his royal standing and his plan to fund medicine for the people. The weight of those debts drives him to perfect the circle. Li Jun mutters under his breath, "Underestimate, improper." He realizes his carelessness with his limits. Sir Garden steps forward, warning that reckless expansion can backfire. Li Jun grips his staff tighter, vowing to balance power and safety. This moment cements his resolve to avoid another near-fatal overload.
Underestimate.
Li Jun forces the mana circle to expand, channeling raw energy outward as a blazing halo erupts around his chest, boldly defying the warning that his heart cannot sustain the pressure. He risks his life and his family's fragile finances, feeling overdue debts crush his resolve, while the frantic pulse of his heart threatens to collapse under the intensified spell. General Kong eyes the urgent summons, the core energy spikes again, and the expanding circle flickers ominously, leaving the kingdom's fate hanging on whether Li Jun can master the volatile power.
Done. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. A volatile dose meant for the crown prince erupts, nearly killing the king and throwing the palace into chaos. Y'all, desperate to test his newly discovered mana slots, gulps an obscene amount of water, flooding all 10 liners. The overflow erupts into a thunderous torrent that crashes through the prince's chambers, shaking the marble walls. Guard after guard storms in, finding the prince clutching his throat, his skin paling. They haul him away as the water roar fades. Y'all throws out a shaky excuse, faulty dose, hoping the lie buys him a moment.
Your Highness, are you all right?
Yet Y'all still can't explain why the prince's blood darkens to a grim black.
Y'all steps back, wiping his grime-stained hands on his tattered coat. "If you don't want that, clear the area. I'll take a breather. Oh, and..." He trails off, eyes flicking to the empty slot still humming with residual energy. He leans in, whispering a rapid plan to the guards. He will return with a safer dose and a controlled release. The guards exchange uneasy glances, then nod in reluctant agreement.
If you don't want that, clean up here.
Y'all keep scrolling through the grim manuscript. A stark warning blazes. The mortality risk from the brew is alarmingly high. Further notes reveal that survivors endure excruciating agony or devolve into mindless husks. He frowns, the chilling thought that the cure might render victims into walking vegetables. This underscores that any misstep could cripple the prince or spawn a fresh menace within the palace walls. The following page displays his calculations for a safer, sublethal dosage. Y'all peers at his distorted reflection in a cracked bottle, muttering that his body feels cursed and oppressively heavy. He slams his fist onto the table, the clang echoing his frustration at his waning physique. Y'all ponders the fate of the stored water, his mind racing toward a colossal release, perhaps 99 liters in a single surge. He visualizes the sheer force such an outburst would unleash, a wave capable of leveling walls. This contemplation warns him that exceeding his limits could implode his body or wreak untamed devastation. Y'all slides open a concealed compartment in his torso, retrieving the luminous Azrahan core. The artifact emits a soft blue hum, its vibrations tingling through his fingertips. He recalls an ancient manuscript that described a core concealed within a low-rank medicine seller's flesh. The revelation strikes. The core is the master key to harnessing mana.
Y'all whirls, eyes wide, shouting. What just happened? I expected a slow flow. The unexpected blast catches him off guard. A nearby guard shouts, "Yo, why did it turn into a water cannon?" The room trembles from the lingering energy surge. This blunder reveals the volatile power he commands, endangering the prince's fragile condition.
What just happened? I thought it would flow slowly. Yo, why did it become a water cannon?
Guards scramble toward the chambers, bracing for disaster. A deafening crash erupts from the crown prince's bedroom, rattling the marble corridor. Two palace guards burst through the door, eyes darting for the source.
Y'all pries open the Azrahan core's inner chamber, sensing the water slots humming in unison. He tallies 10 liners, each brimming to the brim. The system flashes full. He grasps that his body cannot absorb additional mana at this moment. Any surplus would erupt uncontrollably as before. This compels him to devise a method to empty or enlarge the slots before his next trial. The specter of overflow looms ominously. Y'all now eyes a concealed reservoir that could hold the solution. Y'all steadies his breath, picturing a luminous circle encircling his heart. A pulse of pure mana surges along his meridians, igniting his shoulder with a soft glow. Y'all hurls the potion bottle against the stone, sparking the heart-circling mana into a blaze. He then commands the Azrahan core's water slots to surge, drawing a raw, icy stream of mana into his hand, his body screaming in protest as the overload threatens to tear him apart. Y'all's temper flares, but his false identity still shields the prince, buying a brief reprieve as his own life teeters on the edge of a mana-induced collapse. The ragged youths whisper that the Emperor's new elixir brushes the lethal edge, while Y'all's overloaded core throbs with imminent collapse, leaving his next decision, and the prince's fate, dangling in volatile uncertainty.
Stat maxing is an art form. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry to watch the numbers go up.
The crown prince downs the entire experimental decoction in one desperate swallows. The vial tips, bitter liquid flooding his throat. Ephedra, aconite, Asram ignite inside him, flashing a sudden UI of glowing HP numbers. His heart hammers, skin prickles, a faint luminescence crawls through his veins. Every drop threatens annihilation. If the poison wins, the royal line crumbles. The healer watches, eyes wide, fearing the prince's fragile memory will fracture once more. The prince's body erupts with a digital overlay, HP plus blazes across his chest, then life expectancy plus percent flickers. A low burp rumbles, a harmless spark crackles at his fingertips. He winces, then steadies as the potion surges, gifting a fleeting vitality boost. The prince finally forces the liquid down, then erupts with a loud burp, declaring the taste oddly pleasant. The caretaker smirks, confirming the process is kicking in, and notes she only needs to monitor the reaction. She prepares to drip the medicine in measured increments.
Burp, that was so good.
Great. I just need to.
The caretaker leans forward, voice soft, whispering, "Sorry for surprising you." The prince blinks, mind foggy from the previous dose, muttering an incoherent reply. He still grips the cup, his thoughts tangled. Her apology steadies his nerves, preventing panic.
Sorry for surprising you.
He cannot recall the exact purpose of the potion. A distant chime echoes, marking the passing of time. The prince tilts his head, frowning, and asks, "Why are you apologizing?" The caretaker shrugs, confessing she knocked over a cup earlier. His confused stare reflects the lingering fog of his hidden ailment, still erasing simple memories. This glimpse reveals his mind remains fragmented. The prince snarls, "If you flatter me, I'll drink all the poison here." The caretaker giggles nervously. You are usually... ha ha ha. Their banter masks the looming danger of another dose.
If you flatter me, I'll drink all the poison here.
You are usually... ha.
Arya huffs, catching her breath, then whispers, His Majesty has summoned you, Your Highness. The messenger's words ignite anxiety. The prince must abandon the lab and face the king. This summons forces him to confront court expectations while still weakened.
His Majesty has summoned you, Your Highness.
The prince steels himself for the looming audience with the king. A chill runs down his spine, the weight of destiny pressing down. Arya risks everything, swearing she won't let him be blamed for her death, while the prince's fury cloaks a desperate craving for healing. He teeters between stubborn defiance and the terror of losing his true self. The air crackles with unresolved tension, each heartbeat echoing the stakes. Arya stakes everything, swearing she won't let him be blamed for her death, while the prince's anger masks a desperate need for healing, leaving him torn between defiance and the terror of losing himself. The air crackles with unresolved tension, each heartbeat echoing the stakes. The king summons the prince, forcing him to abandon the volatile lab and confront the throne. Arya's whispered promise lingers unanswered, while the flickering glyph warns of a danger that could engulf them both. A cold wind sweeps through the corridor, carrying the scent of looming peril.
Trust no one. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry to see who turns next.
The miracle drug becomes a blade, and the empire trembles. Rakiel limps into the marble hall, skin ghost-white from endless needle pricks. An empty throne glares beneath flickering candles. Servants murmur, eyes glued to his shaking hands. From a balcony, the emperor watches, cold steel in his stare. Rakiel's thoughts sprint, mapping every hidden threat. He knows the nation's fate balances on this moment. A weighty secret hangs in the air. He moves forward, blind to the Emperor's already spun trap. Rakiel drops to a deep bow, voice tight but steady. He proclaims loyalty, masking a tremor that rattles his throat. The Emperor sits stone cold, expression unreadable. Rakiel's words echo, thin veneer over raw fear.
The Emperor raises his hand, voice firm. You are a proud member of our bloodline. You mustn't lose your dignity. He expects Rakiel to bow to the proposed transfer. Rakiel clenches his fists, the needle pouch digging into his palm. He retorts, "Then shouldn't you make the wise?" The phrase hangs, a thin rebuke to the Emperor's facade of kindness. Courtiers murmur, some staff snickering at the prince's boldness, others fearing the wrath of the throne. The line draws a clear divide between loyalty and manipulation, forcing the Emperor to confront the prince's resolve. Rakiel prepares to expose the hidden motive. Rakiel's voice rises, sharp and angry. The wise decision? What a snake.
Rakiel scoffs, saying he would love to hand over the title, then declares he will not accept any proposal that would let the second prince rule. He warns that the country will fall into ruin if the second prince takes power. His refusal highlights the danger of the Emperor's scheme.
I'd love to pass that title on. Just enjoy my life. If I accept his proposal, this country will go to garbage because of that second prince.
The Emperor's next move hinges on whether Rakiel can be silenced. Rakiel explains that the second prince is a frustrating ruler, ill-equipped for looming chaos, and that his reign would doom the empire and the royal line. Standing at the palace gate, Rakiel faces the Emperor one last time. He declares, he wants a chance to prove who is more deserving between him and the second prince. The Emperor narrows his eyes, sensing the challenge. Rakiel's words cut through ceremony, demanding a test of worthiness rather than blind succession. This matters because it forces the Emperor to either accept a duel of merit or risk a civil rift by insisting on the second prince's claim.
He wants it.
Arate steps forward, warning that whatever decision they make, the outcome stays unchanged. She refuses to watch Rakiel sacrifice his health for political gain. Rakiel protests, insisting he will not be a martyr. The argument highlights the Emperor's pressure on the Crown Prince to sacrifice himself, and the palace's dark humor about the futile sacrifice.
Result will be same. I won't let you risk health.
I guess both of them.
The Emperor still plans to force a transfer of power. Rakiel snaps, accusing the Emperor of being wrong. The Emperor cuts in, trying to correct him, but stops mid-sentence.
Rakiel, blood-soaked and leaning on his cane, is dragged into the Grand Throne Hall where the Imperial decree rests on a crimson cushion, forced to choose whether his life-saving medicine becomes the kingdom's sacrifice. Rakiel feels his fragile health crumble beneath the weight of political ambition, realizing each breath could cost him the throne, his sister's trust, and the very cure that sustains his fragile existence. As the Emperor's cold gaze locks onto Rakiel's trembling form, the needle still gleaming, palace whispers swirl with betrayal, leaving the crown's fate hanging on a single, blood-spattered decision that could shatter the dynasty.
Every recap is written for fans who actually care about the lore. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry and never lose the plot.
The Crown Prince faces a brutal 5-minute gauntlet. Survive or die, and the throne shivers. Li Huan plants his boots on the cold arena stones, nerves crackling. A hawkish spectator shouts that the second prince brandishes an Azrahan core etched with a lone circle, a relic of a legendary knight's blade technique. The whisper spreads, tightening the air as the duel teeters on the brink. Li Huan steels himself, heart hammering, for the relentless 5-minute trial. A deafening hush blankets the grandstands. Every eye fixes on the twin heirs, breath held for the opening blow. Even the palace guards drop their swords, uncertainty flickering across their faces. The world seems to freeze as the princes tense, muscles coiled. Li Huan springs off the glowing shield, catapulting skyward with a fierce aerial thrust aimed at the second prince's chest. Gasps ripple through the crowd as he lands behind his brother, momentum humming. The second prince whirls, sword flashing, deflecting the strike with a metallic hiss. Mana crackles wildly around them, each pulse raising the duel's ferocity. Li Huan's stamina sputters, yet his alchemical serum flares brighter, feeding his resolve. The king watches intently, the ticking timer a relentless metronome to the impending verdict. A jeering onlooker bellows, "A sick man. What a relief!" Mocking Li Huan's frantic gambit. The second prince slashes downward with savage force, bellowing, "Feel the weight of my strength." The blade crashes into the shield, rattling it like a tree in a gale. Li Huan feels the shock surge through his arms, sapping his stamina with each tremor. The crushing blow threatens to end his fight before the timer's final chime. Li Huan must discover a new method to sustain his fragile defense. Mana courses into the second prince's sword, igniting the strike with a fierce radiance. He snarls, "Even mana can't save you." The alchemical shield flickers, then splinters as the mana-infused blade pierces it. Li Huan watches his protection shatter, understanding that no barrier can withstand such power. Li Huan grunts, his body shuddering under the strain. The medicine alchemy wanes, his heart hammering against his ribs. He curses the fatigue, unleashing a guttural "ugh" as the second prince's blade whips overhead. The arena plunges into a deafening silence, the 5-minute timer blinking like a death watch. Each remaining second threatens to be his final breath if he cannot endure the relentless assault. The ultimate clash approaches, the crown's destiny teetering on the next strike. Li Huan collapses after unleashing the medicine alchemy burst. He lets his staff fall, blood darkening his lip, clutching his chest as the arena timer counts down mercilessly. His breaths come in ragged gasps, each inhale a struggle. Li Huan bellows, his voice trembling, proclaiming his legs were forged for this trial. He recalls brutal drills that nearly claimed his life, lungs burning like furnace coals. Yet he drives through agony, his steel-hardened lower body anchoring against the second prince's relentless strikes. This confession underscores how relentless training forged the endurance that now sustains him.
My lower body trained for this moment.
He locks his stance as the opponent charges forward. Li Huan darts sideways as the second prince slashes with his blade. He summons a translucent mana shield, the impact rippling like water. Leveraging the shield as a spring, he rockets upward, flipping over the prince's head. Li Huan drives the experimental potion into his chest, igniting a searing alchemical blaze that powers a translucent mana shield, launches him skyward, and flips him in a dazzling arc over the second prince's blade. He sacrifices his frail frame, channeling blistering pain into unyielding resolve, praying the medicine rescues his younger brother even as the volatile brew threatens to shatter his own life. The mana shield flickers as the second prince narrows his eyes, priming a fatal strike, leaving Li Huan's desperate gambit teetering on a trembling blade. Hit subscribe on Manwa with Hari right now. The next recap is closer than you think. 5 minutes. Lose the crown or die. Theodore staggers into the arena, a harsh cough tearing through his chest, a hiccup jolting his nerves. Murmurs ripple the crowd while the Emperor's guard fixes him with icy stare. Across the platform, his frail brother narrows his eyes. The red timer blazes, each second a hammer on his heart. Theodore feels the weight. He grips his weapon, the bomb cocktail humming, ready for the first strike. Theodore shoves a vial into the combat slot, sealing a volatile bomb cocktail. Amber liquid swirls, laced with distilled spirit, powdered alchemy, and a shard of the rare Azrahan core. Theodore lunges forward, shouting, "All right, let me sober you up." He yanks the control lever, unleashing the remaining volatile cocktail from the circle slot. The fresh surge splashes the stone, searing it. The blast thickens the hallucinogenic fog and scorches his wounded brother. The crowd gasps as toxic vapor fills the arena. The next strike looms with even harsher agony.
All right, let me sober you up a little now.
Theodore lifts his weapon, eyes narrowed. "This will hurt," he snarls, thrusting the blade, channeling the lingering cocktail into the strike. The edge pierces his brother's side, a wave of pain rippling through him. "Endure this," Theodore roars.
The brother lifts his hand, forcing the Azrahan core. He mutters a cryptic chant, air shimmering around him. The circles blaze brighter as the bomb's alcohol reacts. Resonance intensifies, shaking both fighters. The crowd holds its breath. The core could neutralize the lethal blast. Their clash drives the circles to the brink. Theodore yells, voice cracking through the haze, pleading, "Brother, stop." He knows the bomb cocktail will erupt any second. The crown teeters on his next strike.
I'm sorry, brother.
Theodore declares, "All the alcohol from your body." The crowd gasps as the bomb's volatile mixture vanishes. A cryptic Chinese character Sa flares, hinting at a sealed alchemical name. The bomb's power is neutralized, ending the immediate threat, yet the sigil suggests future danger.
All the alcohol from your body.
The mysterious seal foretells looming peril. The arena falls silent as Theodore steps forward. He faces the throne, the king, and the gathered crowd. He raises his voice, admitting defeat to Crown Prince Rakiel. The king nods, the citizens listen. His confession relinquishes his claim, sealing the duel's end.
I acknowledge my defeat, Crown Prince Rakiel, before His Majesty and our citizens.
Theodore's arrogance crumbles into raw guilt as his wounded brother clutches the bleeding wound, feeling the sting of betrayal while the crowd watches a prince's fate teeter on the brink of oblivion. Theodore's hubris shatters, leaving raw guilt as his wounded brother clutches the wound, the sting of betrayal echoing, while the crowd watches a prince's life balance on the razor's edge of oblivion. Rakiel narrows his eyes, the king raises his hand, demanding order, while a lone voice shouts the final strike count. The arena trembles, poised on the edge of a decisive, unseen showdown.
The world is expanding and you'll want a guide. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. The Crown Prince activates the request for medical treatment fees skill. The system blazes, adding 5 precious days to his life. Theodore's hope spikes. Then the timer flickers, reminding him the gain is slim. He grumbles the extra time feels cruelly short.
Bummer, got my hopes up for nothing.
He now faces a ticking clock. Use the Azrahan technique before the deadline. The Overseer repeats the demand, pressing Theodore for his next move. The prince strains to focus, his frail body screaming. The stale chamber tightens as urgency claws at him. He narrows his mind, zeroing in on the crucial task. The following query forces him to summon the Azrahan technique.
Theodore snarls, "Who are you to advise me?" The Overseer replies calmly, "I'm just saying this out of genuine concern." The prince's irritation spikes, his fear of judgment burning as his life ticks down.
Who are you to advise me?
He then muses that the overseer is dodging his advice. Theodore thinks, he'd dodge my advice with insincere pleas. The internal monologue reveals his mistrust, his isolation as the deadline looms. Soon, the prince steps into Sorrentino Garden, where Damien awaits. The overseer notes Theodore's evasion of the Azrahan core question. He refuses to explain its use, even though it could save his life.
Theodore questions the medical fee skill, unsure how it works. He hesitates to repeat the painful experience that cost him 5 days before. He worries about the toll of using it again. The overseer's sudden appearance hints at more than just paperwork. An overseer bursts into the room, startled by Theodore's sudden movement. He bows, calling him Your Highness, and apologizes for startling him. He quickly asks Theodore to inquire why he is crying now.
Your Highness, please ask me why I'm crying right now.
His tears will soon draw Damien's attention. Theodore asks the overseer why she is crying, his voice wavering. She wipes a tear, saying she is moved by his situation. The overseer urges Theodore down the stairs toward a hidden area. Theodore, confused, asks how the overseer knows the location. This reveals the overseer's inside knowledge and foreshadows a secret meeting point within the garden.
Please head down those stairs.
How did he know about this place?
A figure waits at the bottom, ready to meet Theodore. Theodore steps into the courtyard, sighing as the scene mirrors a novel he read. An overseer appears, bows, and asks where they are. He answers he's here to collect the expensive treatment fees. The overseer repeats, demanding clarification. The prince's confusion deepens as he hears the unfamiliar fee request.
Phew, it's just like in the novel.
Damien turns to Theodore and declares, I am the true protagonist of this novel. The claim startles the prince but also clarifies their roles. Damien hints at a larger mission beyond the garden. Theodore decides to follow his lead. The pair heads toward the garden's secret tunnel, where danger awaits.
Theodore unleashes the request for medical treatment fee skill, a blazing golden sigil engulfing his chest, while Damien steps from the marble statue, loudly proclaiming himself the novel's true protagonist. Theodore feels his heart pound as he clings to fragile hope that Damien's arrival can save his ailing father, fearing every second may seal his father's fate. Damien hints at a hidden agenda beyond the garden, leaving Theodore and the audience questioning whether this self-proclaimed protagonist will truly aid the crown or betray them all.
You know what to do. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
The crown prince strides beneath the Colosseum's towering stone arch, his cloak snapping in the torchlit wind. A silk-veiled lady lifts a hand, her voice slicing through the roar to declare today's grim ceremony. He nods, feeling the weight of 100 hungry eyes. The air burns with the scent of blood and oil, ghosts of ancient battles lingering in every breath. Guard spears glitter along the perimeter, forming a cold barrier. His heart pounds, but his resolve hardens like forged steel. Beneath the sand, a secret horror waits, ready to devour the unwary. The arena floor shudders as hidden scenes slide open, revealing a new wave of trolls crawling upward. Dark silhouettes glide toward the surface, eyes glowing like embers. The prince watches, realizing the Colosseum is a living trap, each monster increasing the odds of survival for none. A shadowy figure perched in the upper gallery watches, waiting to act. A massive stone slab bears the bold character Run, the bureaucratic stamp marking the area as human. The prince spots the inscription, connecting the feeding ritual to cold paperwork. The trolls are officially fed human stock, not mere beasts. This revelation forces the prince to confront the system's cruelty. The seller circles the prince, chuckling. He points a finger, laughs and taunts. You got scared, huh? Ha 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 VFT. The prince tightens his fists, his jaw hardening. The audience hears the jeer echo across the stone, highlighting the prince's fear and fueling the arena's tension.
You got scared, huh? Ha 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 VFT.
The seller stops, folds his arms, and launches a sarcastic lecture. I feel so sad for you. Why consume such cheap painkillers? Can you even fall asleep after eating these? He gestures at the prince's pill bottle. The prince's reliance on cheap meds becomes a public embarrassment. This ridicule pushes the prince toward a desperate decision. The seller mutters a garbled phrase, then asks aloud, "Should I kill him?" The question hangs over the arena, implying the seller may decide the prince's fate himself. This raises immediate danger for the prince and signals that the spectacle may turn lethal.
Talks / should I kill him?
Arena guards step forward, ready to seize the prince for the next gruesome ritual. The medicine seller leans in, eyes fixed on the crown prince. He snarls, "You have a mouth, don't you? Say something, fool." He presses the insult, demanding the prince speak, then adds, "Have you ever given me a chance to say anything?" The prince sits in stunned silence, his dignity cracked.
The medicine seller steps back, a thin smile curling on his lips. "Welcome," he says, gesturing to the slab where the prince lies exposed. He pulls a heavy, iron-capped tray from the shadows, placing it over the prince's torso. The tray hums faintly, a low vibration spreading through the stone. The prince's breath quickens as the tray begins to pulse, drawing a faint glow from the vial beside him. The arena's hidden mechanism activates, siphoning the prince's pain into a copper pipe that leads toward a dark cavern below. This act marks the start of the arena's secret pain harvest, a ritual that could turn the prince into a weapon or a victim.
Welcome.
The looming pain harvest begins as the trolls watch.
The medicine seller forces the crown prince to strip, lie on the cold slab, and watches as a heavy iron-capped tray descends toward his exposed body, its ominous weight promising a cruel extraction. Pride shatters as his warrior facade crumbles under humiliation, his heart pounding against a tide of shame, while his life teeters on the brink of a lethal test he never consented to. The iron tray hovers, its hidden mechanism unresolved, sending a low hum through the stone, leaving the arena buzzing with anticipation and the prince's fate hanging by a razor-thin thread.
Your boss doesn't need to know you're watching this. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry.